Support the show by donating at themusicbuds.com. Thank you. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Music Buds podcast. This is episode number 17, and my name is Henry. This week, I am so honored to be joined by the rock band The Nova Twins. With me is Amy Love.
Hi.
And Georgia South.
Hello.
Y'all, it is so nice to meet you. I love and respect your music so much, and it's so nice of you to take the time, so thank you.
Oh, thanks for having us.
Well, how's life?
Yeah, no, life's good considering it's obviously very chaotic, but it's good. We're focusing on new music. We're doing collaborations. We're just trying to stay as productive as we can during, obviously this pandemic. And whilst we can't gig live, we just keep moving forward any way that we can, really. So It's good.
Georgia, what about you?
Yeah, the same, really. I think it's definitely been a crazy year, but I think considering we haven't done any gigs and stuff, it's actually a lot of great things has happened as well. Like all the collabs, like the Bring Me collab, and we've been working behind the scenes on other things too, and we've been able to do loads of songwriting, which if we were just on the road, we wouldn't really have time to fit that in all summer, so it's been great in that sense.
That's awesome. How did y'all get started? I mean, that's kind of just a basic question, but how did y'all form?
Well, we were friends way before the band, literally sister. It was a sisterhood. So, it was inevitable that we'd create music together because we both were in separate projects doing music, but always hanging out. So we wrote a song together one day, just at home, and it was called Bad Bitches. And it was heavy, it was full of sass. All the elements kind of just went together straight away. And we thought it was so fun to write. It was just effortless working together. Everything was so just fluid. So we just thought, we need to make this official because we would have the best time. And we did. Going on tour is so fun. It's just like going on holiday every night in a hotel just feels like a sleepover. So it's been great. And we have a lot of fun.
Yeah. When you were growing up and you went to concerts, was that like being a musician? Was that something you were like, I need to do that? Or did it just kind of come through different avenues?
I think from a young age, we've both from a young age, we've always wanted music for different various reasons. But for me, I don't know why. My mum listened to music, but she wasn't necessarily musicals in the terms of playing it, and none of my friends were either. So I just knew that I wanted to sing, and then I did.
Yeah.
It came to you, you're calling.
I think from the age 1 to 2 or 3, 4, 5. Maybe I wanted to be a vet just because I loved pets and fluffy animals. Then after that,
imagine you being a vet.
I've always wanted to do. Same with you, G, isn't it? Like your parents are musical.
Yeah, all my family are really musical, so I think I just played musical from a very young age, and I think that's just all I wanted to do. I can't think of anything else I wanted to do.
Was it
anything else?
Yeah. Was the music the style of music you do now what you typically listen to, or was it kind of all over the place?
We grew up listening to all sorts of different music. I grew up listening to people when I was really young, like Stevie Wonder, Donny Hathaway, and then more like rappers like Eminem, Kanye West, Missy Elliott, Nerd. And then later on, I discovered more rock bands. So I think it was just an evolution of sound for me, but you had different influences too.
Yeah, I grew up in Essex, so I guess my surroundings was quite like a pop culture. It was when I was young, I was listening to Spice Girls,
Sure.
Then garage, and my mum would listen to soul singers like Toni Braxton so much, and Whitney Houston. But then I think when I went to college, when I was 16, I started getting to like live bands and like live music and stuff, and then that's when it all changed for me there. I think I was listening to bands like New York Dolls and Deep Purple, and really kind of getting into like Kate Bush and Joni Mitchell, and suddenly it was like, whoa, this whole new world kind of opened up. Davis showed me her, and I could affiliation with her was yeah, she's incredible. So I think from that, and then our old influences, and then like we love Destiny's Child, so it's like that 90s kind of like punk, garage, glam rock. Everything's gone in there basically, and that's the best thing about music, is that you get to explore different genres. Like, you know, we want to listen to salsa in the kitchen one night, we will. Do you know what I mean? What fits your mood? And I think that's why our music is so eclectic, because we are open to all the music. All music.
All the music.
Yeah, well, I think that really comes through in your music, because there's so much interesting variation. Now, the album Who Are the Girls, which is fantastic, by the way. I know the title itself is great, and I know that you've talked about in the past how that title kind of has I don't know what you call it, a background or a very specific meaning to it with how you've risen as a band.
Yeah, I think, you know, Who Are the Girls is kind of like, it's for the underdogs for one. It's for how we felt kind of coming up. Because people always literally like, who are the girls on this rock festival stages, being the only women of colour playing this heavy music. And it was always such a surprise. And I think for us, it was kind of saying, you know, we're here. There's also there's a lot of us that many don't even know that are there. And we're here, and we're, you know, turning up, and we're present, and we're kind of want to be in your face. So
yeah.
That is Who Are the Girls. You know, it's for everybody who feels like that they're the underdogs and not heard. So,
and one thing that really strikes me with the power of the music is that it has this explosive fire to it that's so cathartic and freeing in a way, and it creates such a unique identity, because that energy is in every second of your music. And I love and connect with that so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
I think that just comes from, you know, us feeling like we've just got to go for it. Because when we're on festival stages, we know like probably 80% of that audience have never seen, you know, a band like us that looks like us. So we just know that we have to just bring it to represent a whole world that, you know, hasn't had the voice or chance to be seen yet. And we're given the kind of the platform at that moment to show everyone that. So we just feel like we have to represent those people.
Yeah.
So we make it loud.
Yeah. That's the way to be, you know. Also, in terms of your style, y'all's music videos are so good, and they're so cool, and they're so like colorful and stylized. And I know that you've talked about how you were very involved with the design of those, like the car in Vortex and painting the apartment. Is that really important to you in terms of getting that vision out?
I think for us, it's when you're an independent band, you don't have all the choices. You don't have all the budget in the world. You can't bring up this music and be like, yo, you know, can we have this, I don't know, thousands of pounds worth of video footage or blah, 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 blah. So I think for us, we evolved naturally by doing it DIY, because we were thinking, okay, what can we do to create a music video? We don't have this money, so we have to think outside the box a lot of the time. And I think that's just allowed us to really explore our ideas and creativity. And it's been really, really fun. And what we do, you know, there's always like a friend or someone we know who's like, yeah, I've got this flat, it's about to be renovated. Do you want to do it up? And then, me and Georgia spent a week in there eating the dust and the dirt. Savage in there. And that design, because like, you know, and for us, that's fun. That's our idea of like fun. It can be stressful, but it's fun. Linley, who shot the video, we found him at a later date, and we said, oh, by the way, we happen to have this set design. Do you want to come and shoot the video? And he was like, yeah. And same with Vortex. It was your dad's old Jag, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, he was about to scrap it, and we were like, can we spray paint it first and use it for our video? And he was like, yeah.
Sure. And one, with the music videos, Taxi, which has this like graphic novel, comic book, almost like Blade Runner, Matrix vibe to it. How did that concept come about? Because it's so it's so present in every moment.
That came about like when we were writing the song, we had the visuals for the music video. So it was very much like we just kind of planned the video and wrote the song at the same time. It was really weird. So like we'd add fun sound effects in the song, like machine guns and like car screeches, crazy noises, thinking of the video like, oh, it's going to be like an action, kind of like our version of a movie in a video. So I think it was definitely inspired off the song.
Just like sometimes create these worlds, like a fantasy. And it was funny because at the time we was like, yeah, like wouldn't it be great if we could do this and have this like pink Cadillac, and that could be the riding around in, and blah blah blah, all hypothetical. We didn't think it would happen, because we met Harry, who could make that happen. Because again, it was like, I don't know, we didn't know if someone could make a virtual world and create that for us, but he done an amazing job at doing it. So we're incredibly lucky to have met.
Yeah,
he's sick. Shout out Harry Linley.
Also, I think of all your great songs, I think my favorite is Devil's Face, which you've talked about how it touches on Brexit. Was that a pretty impactful or important one to have out there?
I think Brexit was one of the issues. I think it was, at the time, we just felt this tension and finger pointing, and people being, who is, you're the problem, you're this problem. We're seeing like more racism and more bigot-minded people rising, that they were everywhere, and even people you knew. And we felt something was happening, and we just thought, whilst all these people are blaming immigrants, blaming this, blaming that, blaming people of colour for, the problems, it's like there's 10 fingers pointing back, and we just thought, we all have a part to play in why we're here today, but we just wanted to touch on that. No one's innocent. So, it was that pressure that was building that we wanted to touch on. And that's why we're like, Devil's got your face on, look at your reflection. It's like, it's you.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, it's kind of a vague, broad question, but like, do you find that having been in music for a while now, having played for a lot of different types of audiences and having, such a variety of fans, do you find that there's a feeling or something that you feel most proud of with how you've connected with people in your music? I mean, because I know that there have been big figures like Iggy Pop and Tom Morello singing your praises. And so like, has there been something that you feel could be even something you've noticed over time with your band and how it's evolved with your fan base?
I think we love how we can connect with our fans, and we do feel like it's a very unique and like special relationship. And I think even more so over lockdown, because we've done so many like fun challenges where they get to like literally slay it and show their talent, because they're so talented. They can draw, they can do riff out on music, they can do sick makeup looks. And it's been so nice to see that and just share just like what they love doing and what we love doing. And I think we just like to see it as kind of like a family and a friendship rather than like fans and stuff. Because, they're just so awesome.
Yeah.
It's been really for us to see the diversity in our fans as well. Like when we do our shows, and when we were doing our shows, obviously we're missing them days so much. Right? It was nice to see. I think when we first started, we always wanted to see a mixture of people, because a lot of the times when we'd go to like punk gigs, rock gigs, we'd be the only people of colour there. There's sometimes the only women. Do you know what I mean? There'd be very few first started. And obviously it's been great because I feel like more women are starting to come to the front in these shows and stuff like that. And then I think it's about diversifying even the women in that space as well, and making it an inclusive, safe space for everybody, no matter what you kind of identify as or where you're from. We're just all there listening to rock punk music because it's supposed to be the music for everybody. It's supposed to be a unifying sound. So that's what we really wanted to achieve from the music. And definitely the last couple of years that's been happening at our shows, that we notice is more people, and especially young girls coming up to us saying, oh, you know, their hair might have been fro and then they felt they had to, then it sweated it out and it was great. Or people saying, I wanted to show my little girl, and she might be like a little mixed girl, just to show options for her in this, you know, in this kind of world. So really, really important to keep pushing that message, and just to make as many people feel as comfortable as we can in them spaces.
Yeah. And along with that, like, do you find that just like, is touring something, I mean, for those reasons are of course very important. Like, do you find that touring is that your favorite part of the process, like getting to go on tour, playing for, you know, so many different types of people in so many different places? Is that like, you know, I don't know, like what you live for in a way almost?
Yeah, like touring, we love touring. Everyone always says touring or studio, and it would always have to be touring, because you do get to connect with like so many people and finally like meet people that are supporting you online. Because just seeing like people face to face, we take so much for granted, and now that we can't do that anymore, it's just like, oh, you know, you miss it so much. And we love seeing different places and traveling. We've traveled to like crazy places like Kazakhstan, Reunion Island, South Africa, and literally would never be able to do that if we didn't make music. So it's just, you know, awesome that we've been able to do that, and we're so lucky that we had that opportunity as well.
Yeah. Well, now, in terms of the studio time, the one thing to mention about the record is that it's produced by Jim Abbas, who did the Arctic Monkeys, or who worked with the Arctic Monkeys, Adele. I mean, so many big names. Was that a lot of pressure, or did that feel like more exciting, getting to work with someone who has such a long history?
I think Jim, like when obviously Jim kind of came into our DMs and was like, what are you up to now? We was like, oh, it just so happens that we've got an album ready to go. Like, and we had an introduction day, did a song together. The thing is with Jim, he's not like, sometimes you hear horror stories of some producers, big producers, who are a bit pretentious and a bit scary and a little bit like edgy. Jim is so like down to earth. So we had so much fun recording, and we just ate loads of good food, recorded and great at making, I think, artists, no matter how big or small they are, just feel really comfortable and feel opinions feel valid, and not just like, well, no, that's ridiculous, you know, I know what I'm doing. It's a collaborative effort with Jim. He's a great producer to work with. So, you know, it was exciting and it was fun. Perfect way to introduction for us to actually record our first album. It was the best way.
Yeah. Well, now I think one thing that I just love about music is that you can kind of like grow up with an artist, with a band. Are there any artists, and it could be some of the ones you already mentioned earlier, are there any artists that you have in a way gotten to know or lived with for a long time, that like some of my favorite artists, I feel like I know them better than I know like friends, you know, because like you have those deepest little connections that, you know, things like art can really bring out. Is there anybody like that comes to mind for you?
For me, when I was growing up, I did love Pharrell. Like, I loved NERD, and I really got into like him and the way he kind of produces things. But I can't think of anyone else.
No, that's okay. I was just curious.
Obviously, like Beyonce, just because she's sick and
of course
she inspires Black women.
Sure. Amy, any for you?
Is this like influence? Or
It can be
something that you was obsessed with at one point growing up, or really like Loved.
Just different phases, I guess. I remember, no, this is Paul Stanley from Kiss. That was quite an obsessive moment.
Yeah.
But I got really obsessed for a bit.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know why. It was really
No.
in the kind of shirts and the heels. I don't know. I don't know. I just have little obsessions. Like there's lots of people I loved. Like when Destiny's Child come out as a young girl, I enjoyed that moment a lot. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. It's okay. I mean, that's
little things that you remember being. I was obsessed with this person for like a week, and then you suddenly
change it. Yeah.
Or live performance. It's quite sparse, but it probably happened quite often. But I don't know.
Yeah. Well, veering off from music a little bit with just how the year has gone, what are y'all doing besides music? Are there any hobbies, habits, any movies, TV shows, anything like that you're enjoying?
We're going to sound so boring right now.
I know people will be like, they're so boring. The shows that I'm watching as well, people are going to be like, oh God.
Oh no, I'm sure I'm the same. So
I was just watching Nashville and I got through all of it. It was quite fun looking at the bluebird and knowing that that's a place. That was fun, but the ending wasn't so fun.
Yeah.
I loved through lockdown I got obsessed with Desperate Housewives.
Oh yeah.
Love it. And now I'm watching This Is Us.
Oh yeah, that's a great show. Yeah, that show will take it out of you. It's
I've been crying a lot. Yeah. It's emotional. Really emotional.
Well, I love talking to you. Is there anything else you want to mention about the band? Anything coming up? And it's okay if not. I just don't want to leave anything unsaid.
Well, next week, I think next Friday, we've got a song with Bring Me the Horizon coming out called One by One.
Sweet.
And yeah, so listen out for that. We love it.
Sweet.
A few things on the horizon. Sure, that was not.
That was so cheap. Two things on the horizon.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll definitely keep an eye out for that. All right. Well, y'all, just am so appreciative for you to have taken the time. I really look up to you two and to your band and your music's impact. And so thank you for taking the time to chat.
No, thanks for having us on.
Oh, my pleasure.
Nice chatting.
Yeah. All right, everybody. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did, and we'll see you next time.